beautiful Chef LaeJohnie Bennett, also known as Chef LJ of LJ's Kitchen and Catering Service, a local business in Santa Monica that caters taco parties and private dinner parties. So she's going to tell us all about her journey. Welcome, Chef. Come on in and tell us your story.
Hello, everybody. Chef Kathleen was saying, I'm LaeJohnie. Everyone calls me Chef LJ. I kind of adopted that name when I got in the kitchen. But I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about my experience and my journey. I learned a lot along my way, because when you come into something, you always think that you're going to have a set path, your trajectory of where you're going to go in life. And I didn't even tell anyone this yet. I'm going to tell you guys this, but I had a plan. I was going to SMC, and I thought I was going to go from SMC to Cal Poly Pomona and do their hospitality management program. And I was so stoked about that. I got accepted, and right in when I accepted it, I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, and I was going to be having a baby girl right in the middle of my first semester at Cal Poly Pomona. And so I decided, okay, I can't go to Cal Poly Pomona right now. This is not going to work for me. So I took 13 months off, and I just spent time with my baby girl. And in that process of time, I was like, well, I want to get back into what I wanted to do, which is going to cooking and being in the hospitality industry. And I couldn't really figure out a way I could go back into it other than going to Cal Poly at the time. But I ran into a friend who runs a daycare here in Santa Monica named Celia Fisher. And she helped me to go here to St. Joseph Center, where I found out they have a 6-week program, and it's free, which is awesome. It's a free program. And what's cool about it is when you come in, they don't just accept anybody off the street. I mean, it's open for anyone who wants to come in, but they want to make sure you're serious about coming into the cooking industry. So what they do is they give you this interview process when you come in, and they have you interview with a couple of chefs, that the teacher that's going to be teaching, and the head chef over the program. And the head chef basically, they determine based off your answers and everything if they want to have you be a part of the program. And you would think, oh, 6 weeks is not a big deal, but don't take it lightly. It's a rough 6 weeks. They pack in as much learning as they can into 6 weeks that you can ever imagine about cooking. We learned how to do knife skills. We learned how to saute. We learned how to do sauces. We learned about seasonal foods. They trained us for the Serve Safe Management program. So by the time you leave, you're at Serve Safe Management level, and you can keep that for 5 years. There was a lot of things that they invested in us in the program. One of the things they did do for me is, for everyone, if you're an alumni of this program, they send you to an externship right after the program is over, so you get on-the-job experience. You have to volunteer 80 hours of your time in order to complete the program. And usually those externships turn into actual jobs, but it's just great because if you've never had experience working in the cooking industry, now you kind of get a feel what it's like to work in the cooking industry, and you get connected to a job, and you get connected to people in the industry who know the industry. So one of the things that I learned in this industry is it's a small industry. Everyone knows everybody, right? So it's large, but it's small in the sense of people know each other. So you want to make sure you have a good reputation in this industry, because a lot of times your reputation precedes you and you don't even know. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but you don't even know who's watching you. You might be thinking, oh, it's nothing going on. I'm not really doing a big thing. Like me, I didn't feel like I was doing much. Like, I'm honored today to be on this call with you guys. Like, I didn't know anybody was paying attention to Chef LJ at LJ's Kitchen, but someone saw what I'm doing and took the time to give me an opportunity to speak to you guys. So when I'm saying this, I'm saying it from just a person who's learning this myself. You want to be a person of character when you come into this industry. You want to be a hard worker when you come into this industry. And you don't want to be a person that's coming in playing games because your reputation precedes you. You want people to know you for what you bring to the table. And I think that's important when you go into these jobs, because you're going into these kitchens, And one of the things I learned, you have to be very humble because you're learning from somebody else who's been in this industry for many years. They know what they're talking about. And a lot of times, not all chefs are like this, but there are some chefs who just don't want to hear what you have to say. They're like, look, this is my menu. This is how I want it done. And this is how you execute it. And you just need to go in the kitchen and you go in and do what you got to do. But over time, what I've learned, because I came in literally as a prep. So I suggest going in as a prep because it's a really great place to start if you're going to be in the cooking industry, only for this reason. You learn everything in the kitchen. Like, you learn what goes into the sauces, what goes into the meats, how do you cook it, how do you prepare everything. So, like, let's say you have a recipe and you're missing something out of the recipe. Well, you've been a prep before. You know what goes into the recipe. You know how to fix this recipe or adjust it or change it, however. That was my experience. I walked in as a prep for most kitchens for about maybe 3 years. I knew how to do a line cook position, but I wasn't a line cook until maybe 2 years ago, to be honest. And when I did the line cooking, it just flowed perfectly from the prep position because I got so comfortable with prep that when like I got into the line cook position, all I had to do was just really get comfortable with cooking for a lot of people at a fast pace. It wasn't really that I didn't know how to cook. It was more so of coming into the kitchen and learning how to cook at a fast pace because you got to serve. You might have like me, I was a saute at Broxton. That's where I ended up in my last job. And Broxton's is very busy at lunchtime. So I might have like 1,000 tickets flying out of the machine. Well, at least it feels like it. I'm the only person on saute. So on saute, I'm cooking burgers, frying chicken sandwiches, frying fries, making pastas, all these things all multiply at the same time. And you have to be pretty organized to do that. And so it just kind of pushes you into the situation where you have to learn how to be efficient and you have to learn how to get things done quickly, but you want to do it correctly at the same time. Like every time you're doing something, it's all about the quality that you're putting out. So like I said, you definitely want your reputation to precede you that you're a hard worker and that you're putting this dedication to your work. So back to the situation with St. Joseph Center, it just kind of puts you in a position. If you've never been in the food industry, you probably think you can be a home cook, like, oh, you're going to come to the food industry, it's going to be easy. It's a whole nother ball game. Like, it's not like cooking for your family at home. Your people have certain expectations with their food, and you're coming in, and chefs have certain expectations with their menu, and you're coming into their arena and learning their game. And then I was realizing, oh, I like the cooking industry for me, but as a chef, I've always been an entrepreneurial person in my life. I always wanted my own business. So as much as I love cooking for other people and it gave me a lot of experience, I just always would be at work thinking like, dude, I'm giving these people my ideas. I could be making tons of money off my own ideas, but I was always afraid to kind of bet on myself. So one of the things that ended up happening while I was at Broxton's is I got my tax return one year, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to take this tax return, and I'm going to invest this $650 in a taco cart that I want so that I can start vending people for parties. This is how I birthed LJ's Kitchen, is I just stepped out of faith, spent the $650 on a little taco cart. And at first I had no idea what I was doing. I never even worked on the taco cart. Like, I had no idea what I was doing with a taco cart. But I was like, you know what? You bought it, you're going to use it. So I started taking the taco cart every day to my son's practices. And I would go to his practices, and one day someone just noticed me out there cooking, and they're like, hey, we want to offer you an opportunity to come to our track events. And I was like, okay, cool. So mind you, this is my first time owning this cart. I did a track event for 10,000 people, and I ended up making $1,800 in my first day doing tacos, and that kind of sparked my interest. Like, oh wow, I made this in one day. If I could do this in one day, and then the next day I made another $1,800. I made $3,200 in one weekend. So I started to see like this is a business, but I always kept it as my side business because I was like I said, afraid to step out and bet on myself completely, because I have, well, my history, if I want to go back, is I'm a single parent of 2 kids. So I have to have stability for them. So I wanted to make sure I maintained the income. So I always kept a job, but I would just do my catering on the side on weekends. And so when COVID hit, that changed the ball game, because I didn't have like anything to do. Like, I was just sitting at home, and all of a sudden, all the restaurants around me are closed, and everyone's remembering that I used to cook. So like, hey, can you come cater a party for me? Can you come do tacos for me? So all of a sudden, I just started getting party after party after party, and became booked like almost every weekend doing some kind of party or taco party. But it kind of, my business kind of birthed itself organically. You know, it wasn't something like I had this complete vision of what I wanted to do. I just stepped out on faith and spent some money, you know, on something that I thought was my vision. And I created my own lane with my little taco cart business, which I'm still in the phases of doing my taco cart business. But what I'm excited about is now I'm starting to see there's other areas of business that I can go into. Like, that's what's really cool about the hospitality industry. You don't have to be stuck to a taco cart or being a line cook for someone else, or you could be doing anything. You could be doing baskets. You could be doing private parties. You can make meal prep plans. There's so many avenues of industry in this one industry that you can go into, and so many different types of cuisine. And like, I was thinking about this, because I used to think you had to be a master, right? A master of all things. But then I realized that, like, think about In-N-Out, for instance. In-N-Out masters burgers, shakes, and fries. They have this very simple menu, but everybody loves In-N-Out. Why? Because they have like the best burgers ever, you know? And so I was like thinking that I needed to be this person that did everything. And then I was like, why don't you just be really great at tacos? Like, so I started coming up with ideas of how I can make my tacos unique, because everyone's doing tacos right now. So it's not like tacos is not, it's so special. But I was like, how can I make LJ's tacos stand out? When you bite into LJ's taco, you want more LJ's tacos than anybody else's tacos. So I started coming up with ideas, and I started flavoring my cremas. And actually, now that I've done that, people have been like, oh, wow, your cremas are like really awesome. And so it's gotten to the point where when I'm at an event, people try to literally buy my bottles of crema from me. I haven't made enough crema to give them a personal bottle, but I was like, you know, it's making me get other ideas. Like, maybe I should manufacture my cremas. So like I'm saying, there's so many different avenues in this business. You're not restricted in any way. You just got to figure out what lane works for you. Sorry, I just kind of babbled on, got so excited. Did you want to ask me anything, Kathleen? I just went in. I can't hear you.
What drew you to the taco cart?
In my mind, it was for me, I was looking at what I could actually afford at the time. I didn't have money to buy a food truck. And I mean, if you be realistic, a food truck's about $100,000, anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000 if you want to be realistic. If you want a good turnkey truck. Mm-hmm. I didn't have $50,000 just sitting around. And I had been seeing people, you know, this whole street vending thing was getting more popular. And I've been seeing people that started off with something as small as a taco cart, like Taco Mail, Trap Kitchen, these other businesses I've seen on Instagram. I'm like, hey, they started with a taco cart. Maybe I can do the same thing, start small and just expand. So like I said, I'm in the phases of expanding, but I had to start somewhere, you know? Hello? I can't hear you again. I'm sorry.
My mistake, my mistake.
It's okay.
Before you had your daughter.
Yes.
You said that you were looking at the hospitality industry.
Yes.
And so what were your thoughts then? What was your initial idea?
My initial idea was I was going to go to school at Cal Poly Pomona and I wanted to like have like a fine dining restaurant originally.
Mm-hmm.
That was my original plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then after so much time and realizing that, you know, like I said, life changes, things
Right.
come up, and so I just adjusted with the times, really.
Okay. And Flo wants to know, do you just work from taco carts, and where do you sell your tacos, and how do we find you?
No, I also do private parties. I have you guys can check me out. I have all my Instagram. So I have an Instagram. It's at Chef LJ's Kitchen 1. And then I also have my Facebook page that's at LJ's Kitchen 1. And then you can also check out my website, which is www.chefljskitchen.com. So you guys can check me out whenever I have an event or anything that I'm gonna be doing. I post it on my pages. I don't have a set location right now. I was starting out doing the street vending, and actually on Crenshaw and Stalker, and I had an incident where someone tried to rob me, and I didn't like that whole feeling of possibly getting robbed from being on the street vending thing. So I really started focusing my attention on private parties.
Okay.
So
And
it's a risk.
which is a risk?
It's a risk street vending because there's some
Mm.
people who see you out there making cash money, and I didn't have a lot of people out there with me. But I make all kinds of, you know, I was having a good time when I was out there. It was just that I have 2 children. I had to really think about it. Is it worth the risk for me to be on the streets
Mm.
with this business? So I decided to do private parties.
Okay, and Karen would like to know, what kind of tacos do you make? Is your crema the only thing that differentiates you from other tacos? So
No,
tell,
I have, oh,
go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
I have all kinds of, I make all types of tacos. I have my own carnito taco that I dip in beer, like I braise it in beer. I have different, I also do tamales, like homemade tamales. And um, so sometimes on my cart, you'll come to my cart and I have a vegan tamale, and I don't use lard. I use coconut oil, and I make a butternut chipotle squash. So I have different things that I do for my tacos, different meats, different flavors. But the thing that does stand out and everyone loves the most is the crema. I can't lie. They love my crema.
Sounds good. So
Yeah.
when you think about your business, and you think about, all the tacos, like you said, there's a lot of tacos out there. Why do we come to you? You've mentioned vegan, you've mentioned crema, and I know some other components. So what is your taco stand really about, so that people know what your philosophy in food is, which when you tell us your philosophy, people will really understand what you're making and why you.
I feel like one of the things that we lose especially if you're trying to do like a fast, casual or fast, like you're trying to get food out quickly, you lose quality. So one of the things I really try to make sure I do is I get good quality meat. Like you're never gonna come to my taco cart and get some steak with gristle or fat or anything in it. I always make sure I have the best. I use flap steak. I use the best meats, and I make sure I get good produce. I try to make sure that I'm giving people a good product, like as if you went into a restaurant, but you're just coming off the street, getting a street taco, but it's like you went into a restaurant to get it.
Awesome. And tell me
Yeah.
about your vegan component, LJ. I know that you've mentioned that before, the really healthy, you've even mentioned organic and vegan.
Yeah, well, funny thing is, and this is not to like go back too far into my history, but one of my restaurants that I worked at, Roxton's, in Westwood, they really taught us how to use a lot of vegan products. So I learned how to make a lot of stuff. Everything was vegan based. So most of my stuff I can make vegan based if I need to. Like if you're a vegan and you need me to make something vegan, I can alter my recipe to make it vegan. I also use Impossible meat, which people love Impossible meat. If you want me to do some Impossible tacos or Beyond tacos, I'm trying to learn how to do some things with tempeh. I haven't really done enough with that, but I'm learning different stuff as I go because I want to be able to introduce different things to people that they want, not just what we're used to.
Awesome. So Chef, tell me, you've been involved in fine dining, casual dining, and food cart. So on this day, what are your thoughts about those cuisines are so different? What do you think you are leaning towards as you move forward?
It's actually funny because I still want to do fast casual, but I want to do it from a virtual standpoint. So I've been looking at these things called cloud kitchens, which I feel like are going to be pretty cool. Um, just because of the times with COVID and people are trying not to really be in each other's face, which kind of sucks for the hospitality industry because we all are about customer service and just giving people the right atmosphere and experience. But because of what's happening with people getting sick, you have to kind of adjust with the times. So I was already looking into this prior to COVID, which is funny, but it's coming up again now that COVID is hit, to do some virtual kitchens that do delivery service from commercial kitchens, just to start those off. And I also I still want to have a food truck. Like I want to go and like be able to go do Coachellas and stuff like that because I have my food truck ready and people know LJ's Kitchen. I really actually like this atmosphere of, I think the street vending has made me excited to be around people more. So it's nothing more exciting than being able to be in the presence of a group of people and serving them their food and they're enjoying your food. And it doesn't have to be in a restaurant setting. Like it can be at a concert or wherever. Like that's what I like about it.
Yeah, so are you leaning towards a brick and mortar or more mobile? Do you think?
More mobile, and also the commercial kitchens doing having the virtual kitchens with the delivery services.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
those are the two
Wait,
places I'm looking at right now.
what are your thoughts about the ghost kitchens? What do you think? You think that that's awesome? And Karen, I'd love for you to chime in after the chef is done explaining her perspective, if you don't mind.
Um, I think I don't know enough to say like I'm an expert because that's not something I've actually experienced yet. But I will say, just from the research that I've done, is you're basically going into a commercial kitchen. So it's like being in a regular restaurant kitchen that you would be in, but you're cooking food like you would at a restaurant. Maybe you're just setting up to do it in delivery services like Grubhub, Uber Eats, and they advertise your business on their platforms.
Mhm.
So you're still getting your food out there. You're just not having that same customer service experience of serving them a plate at your table. That's the difference to me.
Yeah, and you think that's gonna be hot?
I think it's going to become popular right now. And I feel like it will be a niche for people who get comfortable with maybe because COVID has gotten us really comfortable where we don't want to go out as much.
Mhm,
And you kind of want to just do things out of convenience, just have someone deliver it to your house. So I think that will still be around in the future. But of
mhm.
course, when things open up, people are going to want to go hang out with their friends and go to restaurants and all that other
Yeah,
stuff. That's still going to be popping. But I feel like the cloud kitchens will be a niche that you can get going and it's still going to exist even after.
yeah. I love hearing about it because there are so many. Karen, what's your concept on the cloud kitchen, if you don't mind?
Well, the cloud kitchen, I think I've ordered from cloud kitchens
Mhm,
and they may have multiple people
mhm,
that are sharing a same space and
mhm.
having different menus. So you share the responsibility, you share the the billings and everything like that. So and you're kind of like you just concentrate on what you're doing.
Right.
Basically on what you're doing. And it kind of like what she's doing, she can experiment, have and get her food out, change her menu. If she wants to serve something and she wants to maybe have a different type of a meal on a different day, she can
Mhm.
do that. She can change up. When you're in a cloud kitchen, you can do that. And then you can go into different areas as well. You can
Yeah.
pop up in one place and be in Santa Monica, and then you can be on the west side. You can be in the Crenshaw district. You can kind of move around and you have people who follow you.
Yep.
So you think that's going to be popular in the future?
I think it is popular because
Mhm.
I know my sister, you know, like if she knew about her truck and if she liked it, she would follow her wherever she went. She'd
Yeah.
go on Instagram, see where she is, and or you know, we'll drive over to where that person is.
Mhm.
Kind of like trying to, I guess you know, it's an adventure too. You know, you like to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
different
Where are they
people.
tonight, or who's out tonight?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, I
Sorry.
was just, what were you gonna say?
I just said exactly like her. Like, exactly. I agree. Sorry.
Because some people, my sister, she will call and she said, "Where are you going to be at?" And then, you know, that's how I met a couple of vendors that were on the street.
Mhm.
A lot of them, and she'll say, "I'm coming over there. Meet me there." And I'll drive and meet her over there, and we'll go up there. And then I found something. Now I might not like it. I might like it. So you get to try in different. You know, when people start moving around, it's a chance for them to try something different. It's an adventure to get out and go somewhere else without having to worry about, you know, being in a restaurant. You're going to see different vendors and you're helping people.
That's true. That's true. I was just wondering, I think it's an interesting new way to dine in 2021. I think it's exciting. So are there any other questions that people have for a chef? I always have questions. So how did your holiday stuff go? We talked around the holiday. You did some platters and some charcuterie trays and party platters. How did that?
I was able to do a few charcuterie plates and mostly tamales because
Mhm,
that's pretty much what people know me for. I didn't sell as much as I was expecting, but I got some sales. I
mhm.
actually got more parties during that season than anything.
Oh, good. Congratulations. What kind of parties did you get? What did you do?
Like birthday parties, anniversaries, stuff like that. And I actually have something coming up in February where I'm going to be doing an 8-course menu in La Quinta. So that's going to be pretty cool with
Oh,
my friend.
nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. So 8 courses, huh?
Yeah, we did it last year. My friend owns a catering service. She's one of the people who actually helped me get into doing more catering. She kind of trained me on it more. And she sustains her business by doing meal prep throughout the week. So she only works 1 day a week, but she's making phenomenal money at home. And so she books parties like the boat party in Naples, and we do that every year. And then we started doing this couple in La Quinta, so that's where I'm gonna be heading. I'm gonna be working with her, so she's gonna be kind of be my boss that day.
Hmm.
But it'll be cool. I don't mind. I'm humble. I'll work.
Yeah, La Quinta has a lot of people out there.
Yeah,
A great niche in the desert.
definitely.
So what else do we need to know about you? So what's next for you?
What's next for me right now? Like I said, I'm just planning to get those cloud kitchens going in the works.
Hmm.
That's what my vision is on. My mindset's on that, and I do have some pop-ups coming up this weekend.
Oh, where?
I'm gonna be doing 2 pop-ups in Long Beach. They will be posted on my Instagram because I don't have the exact address on me. So they will
Mhm.
be posted on my Instagram if you want to check me out.
And so when
Yeah.
you're doing a pop-up, it's COVID, so there's no other event happening. So it's just you, or are you going to be with a group or?
Oh no, we have about 15 vendors. So lately people have been really doing this. It's interesting. There's this like small movement going on, even though COVID is happening. There are people who have their businesses and they open their parking lot up and let vendors come out and
Mhm.
vend their products. And it's been actually a lot of small businesses and small black businesses, like black owned businesses that are coming out and doing these pop-up events. So I've been able to be a part of a lot of those lately.
So they last for several hours, and then is there food and crafts, or what's there?
There's all kinds of stuff there. There's some people that's selling, edible treats. There's people
Mhm.
that's selling. They could be selling custom, clothes or whatever they're into. So there's people selling natural soaps, and
Mm.
one of my events I went to, people were selling essential oils, and I'm next to them selling tacos. So It
Oh,
just really depends on the people who's out there, what they're selling, and I just come out there and sell my food with them.
oh, beautiful. And then, so
Yeah.
there's a pretty nice sized crowd, sounds like.
Yeah, usually, but it's not too crazy where you don't want to come out there. Like, it's enough people out there where it's an event, but it's not crazy where you feel like you're gonna like COVID's gonna jump on you or something. Like,
So there's
it's still
social,
pretty safe.
and so it's social distancing and everything is practiced at these pop-ups.
Yes, it is.
Awesome. So we can follow you. And then you have anything coming up on the west side?
I haven't had anything planned on the west side yet. I really would like to do something on the west side. That would,
Yeah.
I mean, this is where everybody's at. So
Yeah, well, little by little, I think we're gonna open back up as soon as we get vaccinated and quarantined and all things COVID.
exactly, that's what's been hindering a lot of people. But I actually see COVID as an opportunity because that's when people you either fold for what's going on around you or you find something and go with the times. Like you really every situation, like if it's bad, it doesn't have to be bad for you. You know, you can
That's
find
right.
something that makes it good for you. So
So when are you gonna market your crema, or what are your thoughts about that?
I really need to find out how to manufacture this on a large scale. I want to be like Tapatio, like when you to Russia, to be like LJ's Crema, like because you can literally eat it with anything. Like last week, I did a pop up, and I was making Angus burgers and chicken sandwiches and tacos. That's what I decided to do. And people were like, "Can you put your crema on my burger?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like you can crema on your burger. So yeah, I really would like that.
Have you tried to manufacture quantities of it? Because it sounds like you could even sell it to some other vendors.
I actually have not tried to do that. I just bring really just bring enough for my event. But someone was even suggesting that I like put it in mason jars and label it and date it and sell them at the event for people to purchase. So
That was me.
yeah. I think it was you. I was saying someone told me. I remember this. Sorry.
That's okay. Oh.
But yeah, I usually just do just enough, but I would, you know what? If I got enough of a demand for it, I'll definitely do it because I don't want to bring a bunch and then I just have all this crema on me. I wanted to actually sell out. So,
Yeah, well, you do pre-sales.
do pre-sale. That's a good idea.
Do pre-sales when you tell them where you are. Tell them if to hit you up if you want 8-ounce container to go, and I'll have it ready for you. And they can even pay you in advance, really, right? Venmo.
Yeah, you can do some Cash App or Venmo or Zelle. I accept all of those.
Yeah. Have them pre-order and pay in advance, and it'll all be okay.
That's actually popular online right now. People are doing pre-order meals. Like,
yeah, and
say, hey.
It's really important for our industry because it is perishable and you want to know. So, and now that the technology supports that, why not?
Exactly. And I wanted to talk about that too. Instagram, Facebook, social media is your best friend when you're doing something like the taco carts and the food trucks. Simply because it's so popular, and like I literally drove all the way to downtown LA one day looking for this donut because I saw it on Instagram. Like, and it was a long line wrapped around the building. And I didn't care because I saw this donut on Instagram and I just had to have it. It was California donuts, but I was like, dude, if I would drive all the way down to downtown LA just to get a donut, Instagram is powerful.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's some advertising companies that are probably going crazy looking at stuff like that. I mean, how do you find around the corner for a donut?
Right. I live in Santa Monica. I drove all the way downtown LA to get a donut. So I saw it on Instagram.
That really speaks to that industry and that platform.
Right.
So can you tell Michael your information so he can, or can you put it in the chat? I guess he can.
Let me see. I may be able to do it. Let's see.
Okay.
Chat.
Just want to make
Okay, yeah, I can do it.
Okay, awesome.
Doing it right now as we speak.
Awesome. And we are going to be looking forward to you coming into our pre-incubator for when you.
Yes, I'm excited about that. You were telling me about how they help up and coming chefs to get business plans, and you get mentoring from people that are already in the industry.
Right, and continued education. So we'll start with the business plan. And that'll be a roadmap, unless you change it, to the future.
Yes.
Um,
I
Okay.
find it like really awesome, just not to keep talking, but I find it awesome because when you're in any industry, you want to have someone who's already been there before you, that can help you maneuver through, stuff that you don't need to go through, and
Absolutely.
and help you get around the obstacles and find success. And it requires you to be able to accept some criticism, and it requires you to be able to humble yourself. But for the most part, you gain so much from learning from other people who's already been there and done that, and bumped their heads, got a hat, got a T-shirt, all that stuff, and can pretty much help you avoid it.
Absolutely.
So I love the concept. I can't wait to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm
Like
excited
I
too.
said, I'm just starting, so sorry, I keep talking.
No, please go on. That's awesome. So how long have you been in business?
I started my business May the 1st of 2019, and like I said, I only was doing it on the side, but since
Mhm.
COVID hit, it just became like the thing to do for me. So it's been taking off, and I've been getting recognition. Like I was blessed to be able to get an article with the city of Santa Monica recently, which that's why I said I'm so humbled by everything that's going on. Cause I'm like, bro, who even knows what my business is? Like, I'm so new, and they're hitting me up like, hey, we just want to interview you and ask you about your business. You being a small black business in the city of Santa Monica. And I was like, really? And it just like honored me, because I was not expecting it at all. And just was really grateful that people even know who I am, like, or what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're right. We've got eyes on you.
Right.
So we have a question. What are the flavors of your cremas?
Okay, so the most popular one is the jalapeno cilantro jalapeno. Like, it's not spicy. It's kind of like a little tangy, but it has just a little heat to it. And people love that one. It goes best with my shrimp tacos and best with my chicken tacos. And then I have a chipotle kind, which is basically straightforward. It's chipotle crema, but it's really good. And it goes good on the steak. And then I have for my people who just love heat. Just love heat. I got a habanero crema.
Oh, wow.
It
That's
kicks
hot.
you in the mouth and cools you off all at the same time.
Yeah, that habanero is a little bit much for me.
Yeah, most people most people will be like, oh, is it spicy? I'm like, no, the best one you can get is the mildest one is the cilantro one. I even have a milder one is avocado crema than that one. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but the popular one is the lime cilantro jalapeno.
Beautiful. And someone asked, what about bottling it for Saturdays at farmers markets? And that's an event and a number of things to do in itself.
That's something I would be interested in. I mean, I'm already vending outside. I wouldn't mind selling my crema, on a weekend. I would
Mm-hmm.
not.
Yeah, well,
I don't really know the avenue to get into that, but I would totally be open to it.
okay, yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk, because that is one avenue. And I still think other vendors would love to have your crema as one of their items. It's interesting, some of the chefs we've been talking about, what are some other things outside of your main product is available for you to create to expand your business during COVID, because everybody's taking everything out. And Jose over at Cafe Boulevard is doing pickled vegetables in the
Mm.
talked about, and sells out. And it's so simple. So, you know, I think people are really getting back to
Yes.
locally sold items and enjoying some homemade stuff. I mean, back in the day, everything was canned and pickled.
Right.
And so
You
we're
didn't have a lot of processed food. Now we have everything
exactly,
so processed and
it could last,
not really good for you.
yeah, and it lasts longer than it ever should on the shelf.
Exactly. This food lasts longer than me. Just playing.
Uh,
Oh my.
any other questions for Chef? Anyone? Anything else you'd like to share with us?
Nothing that I can think of other than don't sell yourself short. Believe in yourself. If you're gonna bet on anybody, bet on yourself. And that's really the conclusion that I came to this year, is that if I'm gonna bet on anybody, it's gonna be me. Like I can do it, and you don't ever know how your life is gonna impact other people. Like what you decide to change and do. I don't want to just be a chef just to be a chef and make great food. I want to be a chef so I can have a freedom to be an entrepreneur as well. I want to be able to bless people with jobs. I want to do things on a much larger scale than just cooking food. I feel like that's a part of it, but I want to be a blessing to other people. And I know eventually at some point that will happen if I keep on going, being persistent, working hard. And also know that when you come into the kitchen, it's not frou-frou and easy. It's hard labor. It's really difficult work, and you have to love cooking. I wouldn't come into this industry if you don't love cooking, because you're not gonna be happy. But if you love cooking, you don't mind going through those rushes and those times when it gets challenging. Actually, you get thrilled when it gets challenging because you're like, yes, we got to rush. But when you don't like cooking, you're not gonna want that rush. You know, it's different when you love it. You gotta
It's
love what you
true.
do.
Absolutely. I'm so glad
Yeah.
everybody came out today. This is another opportunity for you to ask any questions you might have to Chef. Chef LJ, last chance. Well, Chef, I want to thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate you sharing your story with us and your journey. And I look forward to working with you. I have some ideas about that crema. Call me.
Yes. Yeah, you're the one who told me. That's why it's funny. Like, I told you that. I told you that, girl. Yeah, I do need to hook up with you. You are the one who told me that. And thank you guys for having me today. I really appreciate the opportunity just to share my experience with you. I hope to be able to come back in the future and tell you how all the things we talked about on this live came true, or even on a larger scale. But just being able to be on this call today, I'm really grateful for the opportunity, and thank you guys for even listening to my story.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. And I know that you're already a blessing and that you'll even be more of a blessing as you proceed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.